here to talk about Dr. Jess and Dr. Tina's intensive bootcamp training that I took, and I can't speak more highly of it. I love how it was tailored specifically for our business, something that I'm super grateful for. I know that I felt very stuck in my business for a while and had been praying and praying for business builders and for increase in my business, and I didn't realize that it was just some work that I needed to do on the inside of me. And through this program, I found those areas that just needed some cleaning up, and it's already been 5 short weeks and my business is already moving so well. And now the team that I prayed for over a year, I have a team that wants to build with me, and there is no better feeling than people that want to work and do the business with you. So I'm forever grateful for this program, and I would sincerely encourage you to jump on it.
These past few weeks of Business Bootcamp with Dr. Tina and Dr. Jess have been like a wake-up call. Not like someone pouring a bucket of water on you to wake you up, but like someone stroking your hair and saying, "Hey, I made you eggs and bacon and brewed coffee to start your day." You can hear the love in Dr. Tina and Dr. Jess when they speak to you, and you just feel that you matter and that who you are is important. How can that not energize you to do the same for others? We can ask for all the practical tools we need, but if there's junk, clutter, and voices in our head from our past that are holding us back, we won't be able to use those practical tools effectively at all. From this bootcamp, I've gained not just confidence, but belief that I am a leader. I've learned strategies to shake off the slump and frustration and negative thoughts. I have new habits that will put me in a mindset of I am not just able, but I have great influence and I am unstoppable.
I'm Luann Garman, a homeschooling mama of 7 from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and Business Bootcamp has changed my life in every way. Everything that I have dominion on, it has changed. I love how they focus on the heart, because they say your business is just an extension of who you are on the inside. And so Dr. Tina and Dr. Jessica really focused on making us intensely aware of what is going on in our hearts and equipping us to take those things captive under the obedience of Christ. It has really transformed every area, like I mentioned before. But in the month of March, I have grown more in points in my business than I have in the whole 4 years of doing Plexus. Not to mention all the other side benefits. I couldn't recommend it enough. Go join the next boot camp. It's an incredible opportunity.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, this is so exciting seeing everyone's faces. The moment is finally here. And for those of you who know me and know how short I am, yes, I'm standing on a riser. She has been practicing going like this today to me. So just going to keep it real here. Yep, I'm standing on a riser because Jess is beautifully tall and I'm beautifully short. So somehow we have to make it so that you can see both of us, all right? So we're just keeping it real. Is that okay? Oh, look, I see Mr. William has joined us. Can we all just say hello to William? Everyone please wave at Mr. William. I love that. You guys, hello, hello. Are we excited?
I am excited.
Can we just give a huge shout out to our media team?
Oh my
Have
gosh.
you guys been loving everything that has been coming out? I mean, this is just the beginning. So Christian, Jordan, Scott, thank you, thank you, thank you. Is Ann on? I don't see Ann yet, but
She's
Ann,
coming.
thank you. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing working literally around the clock around here. So we love it that you guys are here.
Oh my gosh, yes. There, you know, when you work so hard towards something and the moment all of a sudden comes, and then I told Tina, when I get nervous, I have to blow my nose like 25 times. But it's actually so exciting. It's just because there's been so much put into this and heart and soul that we're going to pour into you guys tonight.
It's going to be awesome.
Don't you think it's kind of fun to start with a story?
I think it would be amazing to kick off. Do you guys like stories? Helps us all remember, right? Okay.
So I thought of a story that I have not heard for years. And when I was telling it, I was laughing so hard today. And as I was laughing, I'm like, oh my gosh, this fits perfectly into what we want to talk about tonight. So I'm going to leave all names out of it for protection of those that were involved. But I had a group of really close friends that decided to do a 6-week military style boot camp exercise in the dead of summer. And some of the friends were really needed to exercise like a lot of us do. But what?
Okay, wait. I'm creating a visual. Okay, military training, a boot camp, and they really needed to exercise in the heat of summer. Okay, go.
Which is why they were there. Now, this is the type of exercise where they do it like the SEALs and the Marines, where if one person stops, there's no man left behind. Okay, so you guys have this picture. And when you stopped, you got yelled at like they do in the military. And the whole team stops and watches you till you get to where it was. So after they were literally exhausted and they'd been working out for close to an hour, they come to this hill, and the person said to me, telling me the story, this hill is probably like a quarter mile or so up. And he said at the bottom, you have to hop on one foot to the top of the hill. And the top of the hill running would be exhausting. And they were already so like just dripping, like thinking you're almost going to pass out. And so the person told me, they said, everybody starts hopping. And they were quite overweight. And they started hopping and they thought, I know I'm going to die. I'm going to be the one that rolls down the hill because there's no way on 2 feet I could make it up the hill. And then the military instructor turns around and the whole team stopped everybody. So they said, everybody was staring and looking at me. And I couldn't hop. I just couldn't hop. And he yells, you gotta get up here, fatty. You gotta get to the top of the hill. And so they said, I dug in. And I got so mad that anybody would say that to me. And then I got madder that they thought anybody could hop up this hill. And so they thought, I might die. I'm probably going to die. I'll die of heat stroke. I'll die of a heart attack, but I'm going to hop up this hill. And so they said they hopped. And sometimes the hops, because you had to hop, you couldn't walk, would just get like a quarter inch off the ground, but they hopped and they hopped and they hopped and they said everything they could in their head, but they inched the way and hopped to the top of the hill. At the top of the hill, proceeded to think that they were truly going to die, vowed never to do boot camp again, ended up finishing the 6 weeks. So I was telling this story today, and all of a sudden it hit me. I have literally felt like that I had hopped, and that I surely am going to die. I know I can't do this anymore. And yet all the things in my head that I knew I couldn't quit started yelling at me. And then I noticed that me not hopping was really slowing down the whole arena, the whole group. So I want you guys to put in the chat. Okay, I literally told Tina we could hop while I was telling this story. Anyways, and I said, just call me Jiminy Cricket.
I told her to go ahead. If she would do it first, then I would do it after.
No, I can't hop and tell this story. Okay, but who here, put in the chat, raise your hands. Have you literally felt in your business or in your life that you have hopped the last hop that is in you? Anybody else felt that way? Like sheer exhaustion mental exhaustion where I know I have laid in bed, I have sat in my chair, I have told my husband, I have said it, I cannot keep hopping. I just can't. There's nothing left in me to give. And one of the things that really jumped out at me, I see, okay, you can relate. But then when you have everybody turning around and waiting until you catch up, somehow you still keep hopping. You know, as moms, when we have toddlers and we literally think we might die from lack of sleep, and that baby cries, and somehow, whether we crawl to the crib or we stumble, we still go and do it, right? Anybody ever been there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Been there.
So,
well, can we bring it from the
Yes.
other perspective too? How many people have been trying to run up the hill? Maybe you're not, quote, out of shape in your business. However, you do have those thumpers on your team that are taking a little bit longer in order to get where they need to go. I mean, let's look at it from both perspectives. Sometimes you're ready to run, but if you're going to go together as a team, then you realize, hey, no man can be left behind. So sometimes you have to be that one that's like, oh, if they could just go a little bit farther, but I'm not going to leave anybody behind. We have to be able to give ourselves permission to look at this from both sides of this perspective. Can anybody relate with that? Like, you are absolutely ready to run. You know that you're well equipped, but you've got some that have just quit. They're standing there and now you're at a stall out. Talk about emotional intelligence that's needed. How do you encourage those people? How do you build those people back up and just let them know you're not going to leave them behind?
Exactly. And you know, in those moments, if you've not hopped yourself, you can't understand what it feels like sometimes to be the one that needs that encouragement and that has been on the opposite side, like Tina brought out. Yeah. But the thing of it is, we've all hopped. We all know what it means to feel that exhaustion. We've all been there. But when it comes down to our business, one of the things that I want us to look at tonight is that in business, no matter what it is that your business does, it rises and falls on leadership. And the business that I'm in, one of the sayings that is said so often is the pace of the leader is the pace of the pack.
It's really good. Write that down.
Yeah, the pace of the leader. I know so many. The pace of the leader is the pace of the pack.
Yeah.
And so when the leader has felt like they've hopped their last hop in them, the entire team is affected. Mm-hmm. When the team is hopped out and the leader's ready to run, you're affected on both sides, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So what do we do if we're really hopped? That's a really good one right there. So when I started looking at that is I'm like, well, what actually makes me feel like I am exhausted in this business? And I have really been digging into this, have been analyzing this. Tina and I have talked about this a lot. What brings that bone deep exhaustion? If you have some suggestions, put it in the chat. What is it that truly drains the battery of you? And is there a way to do business without feeling like you're constantly on the end of your last hop, where it's only mountains that are going ahead? And as I was praying into this, and Tina, hop in anytime that you feel something. Hop in.
Hop in.
And that was not even intentional.
She gave me permission to hop in.
You have to bounce before you talk.
Okay.
So one of the things that I thought of was, and actually it came to me while we were going over what we want to talk about and what we want to bring to you, is that so very often exhaustion happens because we are hopping up a mountain on one foot when we could have two. Mm-hmm. And what does that look like in the practical? When we were born, when we came down here to earth, on our life was put a purpose, and we were given every single tool to rock that purpose. Not just to do the purpose, but to rock that purpose. And God did not put us here with a purpose to do exhausted 24/7. We're not meant to live on the edge of burnout. But where burnout happens is if we stop walking in the strengths that were given us to walk out our purpose, and instead we're so focused on the weaknesses that we're not doing, the things that we're not doing, so we spend our lifetime trying to perfect our weaknesses in our business, and we step out of the strengths. And I'll give you an example, and then Tina's going to take this a step further. So if I were asked to design the graphics that you all have been given for this time, I don't think many of you would have been attracted to even click on the graphic. Okay? And the hours that I put into that graphic would exhaust me, and I would end up hating it, genuinely hating it. But I often, for a couple years doing business, I felt so bad because I couldn't do the graphics, and I was always looking for someone to do graphics because the hours I spent in were literally robbing and draining me. Versus the same hours that Jordan and Christian put into literally slaying these graphics, I was studying and I felt energized. Same amount of time, same amount of hours. So what I want you guys to do is to put in the chat or write down on a piece of paper, because tonight I want you to walk away from here literally with the breakthrough of something that can affect whatever business that you are operating in. We have got to stop hopping when we could run. Write down 2 strengths that you have been given and that you can truly, genuinely, authentically enjoy and be energized in the business realm when you are doing these 2 things, or you're operating in these 2 things. Maybe you're a numbers person. Maybe you're a graphics person. Maybe you're able to take a really complex problem and break it down for the next person. Whatever it is, write down 2 strengths that you're doing.
So while they're thinking about that, let's give them an example. What you guys are going to watch happen tonight is Jess and I are going to be doing a lot of coaching with each other. I want you guys to have an experience. I want you to be able to see even the process of how we got connected, which we're going to tell you guys that story in just a little bit. But if I'm going to come to you, Jess, and I'm going to say, all right, tell me, what are 2 different strengths that you really feel that you are strong in? What are 2 things that make you come alive? What are the things that cause you to lose track of time? Or when you think about doing your business, what is it that you actually enjoy doing? What inspires you? What pours back into you?
I think for me, the 2 things that I genuinely could light up about and talk about all day would be health, like teaching about health, empowering people with health, and helping people find the identity and the value of who they truly are at the core.
Okay, so let me interject right here. We are talking about doing business together. And notice how none of what Jess just said right there was administrative in any way. Notice how she could immediately disqualify herself and say, well, my gifting is in teaching, my gifting is in the area of health, but oh my goodness, if I have to be able to run a business or to run a team, I'm totally disqualified.
Truly.
But that's not where it stops. As soon as we can identify where our strengths are at, now what we're going to do is we're going to tap into a power, we're going to tap into an energy, we're going to tap into a sourcing that maybe you didn't even know that you had. Okay, so for some of you who have already written down what your strengths are, I want you guys to put them in the chat. We're going to inspire each other. We're going to use this camaraderie together here tonight. Begin to learn from each other. Jess and I don't have all the answers. We have the answers that God has given to us, but we also know that you possess on the inside of you answers that the rest of us are going to be able to learn from. This is a part of how we believe that God created all of us to be able to work together.
So well said. And I just want to ask a question before we step into this, because one of the things that Tina and I want to do is whatever area that you're in, you're going to come to a block. We all come to blocks in business. We all come to things that literally feel like we have to put the brakes on, and all of a sudden we start to feel disqualified. Because what Tina just said right there, if I list my strengths, it is not actually, neither of those strengths look like they're a qualification for leading a very strong, effective business.
Oh, but I'm going to go off script here, quote unquote, and give an absolute powerful testimony that describes this. Jess is such a powerful leader. She's such a powerful teacher. She has all of these ideas that she can bring. We recently sat down. She came into my basement. We sat down and I said, Jess, just start talking. Now, one of my giftings happens to be administrative. I can take all of those thoughts on the inside of your head and show you how you can put them in alphabetical order. I mean, I can put all of those things together. So she literally sat here in my basement. She began to talk. We had 2 whiteboards full. I'm not exaggerating, full of all of the content that was stuck in her head. And I'm like, dear Lord, no wonder you're so tired. I'm like, all of that was just stuck up in there. But as soon as we were able to get it all out, then we could organize it. And then I could look and see exactly administratively, exactly how that needed to be put down to paper and how that could be executed in your team. To be able to be taught, to be able to be instructed so that that could be delivered. Partnership. I didn't carry all those ideas in my head. She carried those ideas in her head.
So what Tina's going to do for me is, and as a demonstration of what we want to do for you. When you wrote down those 2 strengths, if you guys have written them down, I want you to think of it through the lens of you, because we're going to do something with you as well. And we're going to show you a breakthrough in business application with what she's going to do. And she didn't even tell me everything she's going to do, but she just said, do you want to be vulnerable? I'm like, no, but yes. Like, are you willing to be dug into in front of people? I'm like, no, yes. So I want you to look at the lens, because we're going to make this practical to you after, of what can bring you to a screeching halt in your business, and how this week you can vault past that into the next level of where you're designed to go.
So let's look what some of you have said. Some of you have said, if you want to scroll that down for us, compassion and inspiration. Compassion and inspiration. Some of you are looking at that and going, I don't have that at all. I need Samsung SM721U. I need that person to go ahead and bring that connection in and together with me. Or what about our numbers girl, Susan? There's some of you who go into your back office and you're absolutely freaking out because you don't even know how the numbers work. Not all of you are a part of Plexus. Some of you are a part of Plexus. Those of you who are a part of Plexus, did you know that you're a part of a numbers company? Everything about your company has to do with numbers. And if you're not a number person, that could totally freak you out. So you need a Susan who can be there within the sphere of who you are, so that you can go, hey, Susan, can I tap into the strength of who you are? Esther, I can offer enough rest. I can help other people. I can encourage. I can be encouraged. Who needs Esther in their life? Hello. We need people who we can be able to partner together with. And the Esthers who are encouraging, the Esthers who build people up all the time, guess what? They need people within their life who are also going to protect them. Those are usually the people that others take advantage of. So we need people to come along of Esther and be able to protect her and to be able to build her back up again, even when she's been pouring out so much to others. Can you guys see how this partnership between the two of them? I need to put an Alicia together with an Esther. I need to put a Cody together with an Esther. I need these powerful women who are strong, who also need encouragers, because Alicia needs an Esther, Cody needs an Esther. We need to be able to bring these strengths of who we are and be able to give ourselves permission to be what we've been created to be and not try to be everybody else. Can we just breathe that in for a second? Give yourself permission to be who you are, whose you are. Just notice how that feels to just bring that in. If you gave yourself permission, like Jess did, to all of a sudden put out that whiteboard, how would that make you feel? Put it in the chat. I want to see your responses. Breathing in. If I could incorporate together with a team that everybody's functioning from their strengths, man, entrepreneurship now suddenly is inspirational.
And then taking that a step further, do you know how to take compassion and encouragement and absolutely rock a business on every level with those strengths? That's another step, because so often we can maybe see some of these and say, but these aren't the same strengths that can build an organization, that can run a successful multi-million-dollar business. Yes, they are. And that is what we want to show you.
Look at what they put in here. I feel lighter, just even imagine working from my strengths. I feel energized and wonderful. Oh, come on, Shauna, just go ahead and give yourself a hug. I feel energized and wonderful. That's talk about actually appreciating who God created you to be. That's beautiful. I feel freer and ready to move forward. Hello. How many of us have just been held back just because we're trying to be what we're not? Kathy, that is so good. That is so good. Be your own instrument. Create the harmony. Yes, how many people are playing off tune because they're just not even being themselves? Man, that is so real. Relief, peace, loved. Ah, never thought of it like that before. Synergy. We're coming together and bringing the power of who we are, free, more focused, uplifted. Like, whoa.
That's amazing.
Because you're being vulnerable. Look at the ahas that are coming.
It's like, you know what, so very often what I feel like I is I love piano, and I tried for so many years to play a saxophone. It just didn't work.
This is something, I didn't know that.
I actually didn't, but that's what it would be like.
Okay, no wonder I didn't know that. Okay, so now comes the next thing. If we can identify the strengths of who we are, we have been, I believe we've all been created. I believe we all have a creator. I believe we all have this creator who absolutely loves and adores us. And I also believe that there is another one out there who wants to steal and kill and destroy every aspect of who God created us to be. So therefore, if I'm going to choose to walk in my strengths, now there's opposition. Now, some people would say, well, if I'm going to walk in my strengths and there's going to be opposition, I'm not going to walk in my strengths. Well, just so you know, there's going to be opposition no matter what, because you're breathing. So let's go ahead and put that to the side, and let's go back to feeling good and lighter and being able to breathe again.
Absolutely. You're going to face it either way. Do you want to face it on one leg, or do you want to face it on two? That's what it really comes down to. And that is where, when I was really at my lowest and struggling, and I told Tina, I'm like, I reached out to her for her out of desperation. What can I do? Because I don't feel like life and business is meant to be this exhausting. And that's when you helped me identify and said, okay, well, what does make you feel lifted up? What does make you able to feel alive in your business? And that's when we came to this.
Can I fast forward a little bit?
Yes, absolutely.
One of the things that, if you guys know Jess, one of the things that I love about her, and I know you love about her, is she's a heart connector. How many people have just felt that absolute love from Jess? Okay? It's one of the things that brought us together. Both of us are heart connecting people. Both of us love and have an ability to be able to look into people and see who you really are, even if you're not being that. Both of us have a desire to be able to see people to rise into the fullness of who they are. So I want to just tell everybody the story. I know it's a little bit off here, but
Sure.
I just feel this moment. Many of you don't know that Jess and I actually met right after she had had a nervous breakdown and had been in the hospital. Did you guys know that about Jess? You guys see this incredibly powerful woman. You see this woman who is so capable to lead within her company. She's a diamond. She has thousands of people that she inspires every single day. But when I met you, you were having a hard time putting your sentences together.
Yep.
You were having a hard time remembering what you had said just 2 paragraphs before.
Truth.
But I'll never forget when her name came into my inbox and I was introduced into who she is. I read just a little bit of what was there within her email. And I looked to my husband and I said, Scott, I don't know who this woman is, but I'm going to know her, and I'm going to know her for the rest of my life. I can't explain it, but I love this woman, and we're going to be connected forever. I don't even know what that means. My husband looked at me and said, you just read her email. I said, I know, but I know this woman. I can see beyond where she currently is. Now we're neighbors. Now you can see this brilliant brain that was completely just covered over because of so many other circumstances and situations in life that were literally trying to suck the very life out of you.
Truly.
And you gave me permission. We began to partner together with Holy Spirit and just went layer by layer, and just beginning to remove all of the limitations that were present until all of a sudden you guys all now get to see who I saw her as that when she couldn't even complete her sentence. I know Leah knows exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, the magnitude of absolute amazingness of who you are is a joy and an honor. And in that, the reason why I want to bring up that story right now is because the strength of who Jess is such an absolute threat to the kingdom of darkness that all hell itself was attempting to come and to suffocate the very life giver that she is. But it took that absolute partnership for us to be able to come together and for me to be able to say together with her, if you'll give me permission, I'm not going to let you fall. If you're going to give me permission, I'll go ahead and sit on the floor so you can just sit on my back if you need to take a break. But we're going to make it up that mountain. We're going to make it up that mountain. We're going to do this thing together. It took this partnership that we got to be able to do together, but it took her permission to be able to say we're going to be able to do that. And for those of you who don't know, I mean, like, our kids are going to be getting married. Like, who would have thought?
Kind of forever.
I mean, like, we're going to share grandkids together one day. Who would have thought? But what if the willingness on the both of us wouldn't have been present in order to be able to bring that alignment of what God had already predestined? Now my husband goes back to that email and goes, oh, no wonder. No wonder you saw the two of you guys connected forever.
Right.
But what was that like for you in that moment of, here, you knew all of these strengths were on the inside of you, but you couldn't even see them?
Well, I think it was so eye-opening, and I had come to a place where I think so many of us have been, where I had hopped my last. And I knew that I was meant for more. I knew that I had an incredible opportunity to change our life with a business, but I was so mentally and emotionally exhausted that I couldn't step into it. And I knew that I personally had come to the end of myself and says, there has to be something more. There has to be something I can do to break past this wall, to break out of what it was. And that's when we reached out and partnered together. And you literally saved my life. And so to me, that is where I feel so many of us have been, is there has to be something more. There has to be the breakthrough. And you asked me today, do we have to get that low? No, we don't have to. And part of my identity when you ask what the strength is helping people realize who you are so you don't have to get to that place. So you can break through that.
Yeah. When we can truly identify what these strengths are on the inside of ourselves, here's where all of us, I want to give you a huge warning. Please write this down. When you give yourself permission to identify what your strengths are, all of a sudden, failure comes knocking with an invitation presented in the name of fear.
Failure presented as fear.
How many of you have had those thoughts of fear? Like, I can't do it. I don't have enough time. I don't have the money. I'm not enough. I mean, there's so many different things, right? Those fear-based thoughts are just an invitation into failure, but you can RSVP and say no.
What will people say?
Oof. So let's go there with you.
Okay, I don't know what's coming, so this is all for you.
So when we can look at your amazing ability to be able to teach, we can look at your amazing ability to be able to bring people into health and life as a naturopath, and bringing people into the organic way, the original way that God intended their systems to be. Do you have fears that come talking?
Absolutely.
What are they?
Terrifying. I would say probably the fears that I get the most are, am I enough? And because in the health field and because of what I do, probably it would be that, what about the medical bureaucracy, literally, that everything I teach is opposite of a massive organization.
Okay, so I'm going to interject my own thinking on the inside of my head. It's good. These are good things. I'll keep the comedy show mostly to myself. Sometimes it leaks. But when I begin to hear someone say that, when I begin to hear as a coach where someone's fears really are at, I realize that we have an opportunity. Jess just described what the gift was, the purpose was, the strengths were that God had placed on the inside of her. But then we were immediately being able to go, oh, when strength is present, now all of a sudden we know opposition is going to be there. And if opposition is going to be there, it's going to have a voice. And when it has a voice, it begins to talk with you in your head. Now, I can either have a conversation with that limitation, or I can get you out of your head as fast as I can, because if you stay in your head, you're dead. If I try to have a conversation with that limitation, I'm going to encourage more of that limitation. I don't want to talk to that limitation. So I then am going to come back to you in that and say, okay, you don't feel that you're enough, and you've got all of this government pressure of what medicine is supposed to be. Now we can talk about that and, okay, well, tell me 10 things that you like about yourself, and we can begin to go there. Or I can immediately begin to do this bullet train approach and break her out of her head and get her back down into your heart. Now I want you to watch this carefully, because I'm going to give some of you an invitation to volunteer to do this with me live. Just like I'm doing with Jess, okay? So tell me about some times in your life where you really had that thought of, I don't know that I'm enough, but you chose to rise above that and break through.
Probably the biggest one was when Tori was diagnosed with cancer and the kids were burned. Everything that I knew and loved as my strength was challenged beyond anything I can even begin to imagine, because now I held in so many instances the life of my kids in what I knew. Of course there's God and all that, but I'm just saying I only had what I knew at the time, which definitely did not feel like enough.
So how did you have to press through in that? How did you have to be this strength of health and this strength of a teacher and absolutely rise up in that moment?
Well, have you ever felt desperate? I guess the only thing that I can remember thinking, because when the kids were burned, Tori had just gone through the worst of chemo, and I remember cutting her out of her clothes because she had swollen so big with the burns, and thinking, what do I know? What do I do? And for a month, we didn't know if she was going to live or die. And that is the time, I think, where I looked in the mirror of myself, crying out to God the entire time. But it was, I don't feel like I'm enough, but I have to be enough. I can't fall to pieces. I can't let my daughter, my children, my husband down. And that is when I faced the desperation that causes you to look for answers. I called everyone I knew. I did hours of research. It felt like I didn't sleep. And every single faucet that I could pull on of myself, of my friends, of my team, of the people that I knew, I pulled on, because there wasn't an option B. There was no plan B. And it was life and death, is what it felt like at that point.
Notice what she just said. She got out of her head of, I don't think I am enough, and realized there was no plan B. My daughter's life is on the line here. And I'm going to tap back down into my heart in order to connect in with what is truly of value, what is truly important. Do you see what she did there? You can identify what your strength is as your core, but all of a sudden you loop up into your head. You stay in your head, you're dead. It's an attempt in order to suck the very life right out of you. But if we can pull you right back down into the depth of where your heart really is at, we can completely short circuit the thoughts of limitation. Do you guys see that? Okay, so now all of a sudden we're down back in your heart again. And now you realize, I'm going to do anything and everything. Limitation just isn't an option. Even having a thought process of not being enough isn't an option. No. You're not going to be able to say to yourself, to your daughter who's laying on the bed, I just don't think I'm smart enough. I just don't think I have enough. Are you kidding me?
No.
That's not even an option for you.
No.
So now all of a sudden that's a mute point. We just silence that voice of what is happening on the inside of your head. Tell me another time. Tell me another time you had to press in and you had to go beyond your own limitation of thought and get back down into your heart.
In relation to my strength?
Yes.
Probably when my mom was diagnosed with cancer.
Again, notice, this is coming against the very purpose of her life. Do you hear this? The health, the teaching, the wholeness, the government bureaucracy, the way things have been done according to systems and pressures. Notice what is being hit. You guys, your place of pain is actually going to reveal to you your place of reign. Write that in the chat. Your place of pain is going to reveal to you your place of reign. Mom is cancer. Now what?
So I remember I was about half an hour away from doing a presentation, and I knew it was going to be a big presentation that night, and Dad and Mom phoned and said they just gotten a call from the doctor, and Mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And I just remember driving and just feeling like my entire world had imploded, and I had to talk in half an hour, and it was a packed out room. And so I thought, this can't be happening again, like lightning doesn't strike twice. And so that was a Friday night, and somehow I got through the evening. I just remember I can see standing and talking to people, and I'm thinking I'm talking, and it is so the last thing on my mind. And that was Friday night. So Saturday morning, I again pulled on everything that I knew. It's my mom, she's stage 4, that's pretty advanced. And started pulling in resources, again, knowing that I didn't have the option to fall apart because Dad was depending on me, Mom was depending on me, and there was so much on the line. And so Monday, I had an appointment for her in Mexico Monday, and I just remember thinking,
so just a second.
Yes.
Do you hear that? Here, all of a sudden, she begins to pull on resources, connections from what she just went through with Tori, connections from people that she got connected into when she didn't think that she was enough. When all of these connections, she's now beginning to tap into. This was Friday. Monday, they've got an appointment in Mexico because she chose to say, she chose to believe, she chose to say, hey, saying I can't do this is not an option. I'm going to give myself permission to go deeper onto the inside of me, and I am the answer in this moment. Do you guys hear that? Out of her head, back down into her heart, the strength of who she is, tapping into her health, tapping into her gift to be able to teach, tapping into her why, her family.
So it was very interesting when Mom told me this. I remembered immediately back in my head a connection we had made with a clinic in Mexico when Tori was diagnosed, but social services wouldn't allow us to do that. So I called them Friday. Monday, my mom flew out to Mexico to the clinic that I love down there. But Saturday, we had an appointment with the oncologist, and that oncologist was one of the rudest, I can't say all the adjectives to describe who he was, calling us stupid, calling derogative, to the point where he was so worked up. Dad and I got between him and Mom and had him stop now and said, we are leaving, we are walking out. And I just remember literally facing down one of my biggest fears, and that was the medical community. I love the medical community where they have their place, but in this, it was so abused. And right then I was facing my two fears, my health and what it was that we were against. And so when Mom went down there, again, it was called upon. She's like, Jess, what do you think of all these things? And we had to just dive into breaking it apart, finding answers when we didn't have answers. And that's what I want to say. If you guys are facing something that seems impossible, there's always a way. And what I found in that was having to navigate the impossible multiple times. Those were two of the biggest ones. Built resistance, built tenacity, and helped me find answers that now I've been able to give to thousands of people that I never would have found had I not been faced and looked down my biggest fears against my strengths.
Do you guys see how that works? We intentionally using two very significant, life-altering, life-changing moments where Jess had to choose. So I want everybody to take a deep breath, and we're going to give you permission to step into this with us. if you're to look at the strengths that are on the inside of your heart and life, and you were to, looking at those strengths, say, yeah, well, what story goes on the inside of my head? What story am I allowing to be said? What voices am I giving myself permission to hear? If you recognize that this is just fear standing there trying to give you an invitation into failure, and you can choose to say no to that, but you can choose to identify what those are. If we can identify, if we can give them a name, if you can identify the voice, we can immediately bring you back into that place of your heart. So let's get vulnerable together, for those of you who are willing. What are the voices of fear that are talking to you? Put it in the chat. What are the limitations that are coming and presenting themselves to you? Is it other people? Is it other voices? Is it time?
That's a big one.
Time is a really big one. I'm not enough. I'm not a good enough mom. Other people, look at these. These are real.
I can't do it all.
Oh, I can't do it all. If I can't even lead my own self, how am I supposed to lead a team?
My plate's already so full.
Oh, it's a big one. It's the way my brain works. Yeah, talk about a gifted brain, Alicia. It's what you have. Time, not being good enough, not being a good enough coach. I signed up to do business. Where all of a sudden do I need to coach all of these people? That wasn't a part of the deal. Have you ever noticed that people have issues? Just saying. I didn't know that was going to be a part of the... I just thought this was going to help bring some answers for finances in my family. No one would see me as a leader. No one would even see me as valid. Complete uncertainty. Thank you, Jenny. This is so real. My brain is not made up to do business. Thank you, Margaret. These are real. These are literal conversations that are happening on the inside of your own head. But remember, this is just fear presenting you with an invitation to failure. You can either RSVP and say, I'm going to attend that conversation, or you can choose to say, sorry, busy. I'm not going to choose to engage, and I'm not going to say yes to that invitation. I feel like I'm stuck on a hamster wheel. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm not red enough to lead a strong team. Wow, Sarah. Look at all of these different conversations that are happening in everyone's head. Is anyone feeling very normal at this current moment to recognize this is not you? Okay? If you could relate to anybody else's comment up there in the chat, put both hands up. If you'd like to, go ahead. Like, this is so real. This is so real. Breathe that in for a second and go, oh, everybody gets an invitation to go to their head. I don't want you to go to your head. I want you to go back down into your heart. Nobody really wants, oh, Tabitha, that is just, so not true. But listen to the conversation. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Nobody really wants to hear what I have to say. The fear of success. There's no team. It's just me. I must not be good enough. Wow.
So one of the things that I have found is that when you look at what is coming against you, that is where you're very most often called to reign. So when you look at what the strength of you is, and you realize, which is what we want every one of you to walk away, knowing that what the strength is, two strengths that you carry that have been given to you by God for the purpose you are walking in right now. If that is your business, you were given these strengths to do business. But when you recognize those strengths, you just become strong. You just stepped into another level of being made aware of the danger, because now you know what it is that you're supposed to do to take territory in the business.
And look at the result. A mom and a daughter that are now cancer-free. A mom and a daughter that are both alive and well. A mom and a daughter who are the beneficiaries of being able to have had Jess stand in that place, and for her to say, no, I might have thought that I wasn't good enough, but look at how good I really am. I am good enough. I am more than enough. I am capable. I can do this. And the driving factor came back to your heart and came back to your family.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to think for a second. If you look at what those fears are on the inside of your head, one of the dialogues, the conversation that we've been having as leaders is recognizing that every single time someone is gifted in a specific area, the opposite, your place of reign, is going to actually invite to you a place of pain. In Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 17 through 19, God even gives Jeremiah the warning of this. He says, Jeremiah, I put this gift on the inside of you, and you need to rise up, and you need to know that I'm going to watch after this gift that's on the inside of you. But just so that you know, when you step out in this gift that I have given to you, there's going to be some oppression, but it's okay. It's okay. You just keep pressing through that, and you go ahead and be the strength of who you are called to be.
Exactly.
So write down on your piece of paper. Did you write down your 2 conversations with fear? Did you write it down? Give me the opposite of them. If fear is saying this, then what's the opposite of what it's saying to you? Write it down. Jess didn't feel that she was enough, but look at how much more than enough that she actually carried. My brain is absolutely brilliant. Yes, Alicia, absolutely. And your children are absolutely brilliant. Your children are absolutely brilliant. Amazing. I will bring my team to victory. I love this. I am worthy. You guys, you're rewriting the script right here. We're bringing ourselves back into our heart. We're getting ourselves out of our head, and we're bringing ourselves back into our heart. I am knowledgeable, and I am strong. You guys, decree these out loud. To put them in the chat, but say them. Say them out loud. The cells of your body recognize your voice more powerfully than anybody else's voice on the earth. The only reason why you remember the stories of yesterday is because you keep retelling those stories. You are the one that gets to go ahead and tell the truth. I am well seasoned, and there's just the right amount for me.
I love that.
Shelly, I'll stay in my own lane. Oh, Shelly, I'm going to jump through here and give you a squeeze. Not even worry about what others are doing. Amen. Holy sprouts, we need you. We need who you are. We need the strength of who you are. I'm a quiet, strong force that leads with integrity. Yes, you are. And Sarah, Amen. You're an incredible healer, and you're absolutely filled with love. And every single person that you embrace is brought back into the fullness of who they are. You are true love. You are one who can lead with that incredible strength and that incredible integrity. Wow. I am a strong leader. I am worthy of success. Do you guys see this? Read these out loud. I can communicate with love, with other people. You're getting out of your head and you're getting back into your heart. I can be successful, and I am successful. I am an overcomer. How does it feel to say it this way instead? RSVP? No, absolutely going right back here. I'm going home. Someone's going to say to you, you know what? You are out of your mind. You're going to go, tootin' straight. That is right. I am out of my mind. And I'm going back down into my heart.
It's the only way when you face these fears that you've written on your paper, if you face them from your head, you won't overcome them. You can't. You have to get down into the heart that gives you the courage, the tenacity, the resourcefulness to do whatever it takes to break past them. Because have you felt up to this point that those fears, I can't do a live because what will people say? I can't share because what people say. I can't go all in because I'm too busy already. Has that stopped you? Has that stopped anybody, or is it just me? If that would have stopped me and I would not have gone down into my heart and I would not have gone nose to nose with social services, with doctors and did the hours of research and the lack of sleep to find answers for whatever it was my mom and daughter needed, what would the outcome be? I don't know. But my heart had such a determination that no matter what, I will be enough, I will win. And that is where now I'm able to speak to people with authority and say, you don't have to be there. I couldn't have done that if I would have let the limitations that screamed at me when I was talking to doctors or social services or looking at my children wondering if they'll live. Fears on tears is more like it. But we all have the opportunity to look at what you've written on your paper and go down in, which is what we want to do tonight, and find whatever it takes so that this is the last week you operate with those words on paper.
All it took was for us to ask the right question for you to come to the right answer. Do you see that? Did we hand those answers to you? Or were those answers already on the inside of you? These answers are already on the inside of you. Are you willing to go there? Are you willing to give yourself permission to unpackage the amazing gift that's already there in you? We thought it would be really fun tonight to just show you how quickly this can work. So here's where I'm going to ask for some volunteers. If you want to do some live coaching with me right here, if you have a conversation that's keeping you stuck right there in your head, I want you to go ahead and to raise your hand. I want to be able to see who wants to do this together with me. Who is truly hungry for that breakthrough? Is there anybody willing? Is there anybody who wants to? All right, Edna, I see your hand first. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you turn that up, Jordan? All right, can everybody hear Edna?
Hey, you all hear me?
All right. Yes, I can hear you. All right, so we're going to do a little live coaching here. And with your permission, I want to ask at different points to interrupt you. Is that okay?
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to do some bullet train coaching here. And as you are going to begin to, number one, you're going to share with us what your strengths are. And then I want to begin to hear what some of these conversations of weakness are. And then I'm going to begin to do some bullet train coaching with you. And I'm going to rudely interrupt you as you go until we can break the pattern, okay? We're going to break the pattern together. All right? All right, so Edna, go ahead and tell us a couple of the strengths that you've identified.
All right. I love having fun, teaching, advocating for learners, and helping them see that they can do anything they want. Those are my true strengths in the classroom.
Okay.
I love it.
And your fears?
Taking those same strengths and working with adults, especially women.
So, do you hear what happened there? She just qualified herself right there within an age group. I'm qualified to lead those under a certain age range. But there's a belief system that after somebody gets over a certain age, that all of a sudden now Edna's disqualified. That's interesting. All right, so Edna, how old are you?
I am 50. Beautiful.
You are a gorgeous 5-0. All right, love that. Now, what you are seeing as your fear, where you're seeing as your limitation, you said it's these adults. So I want to present to you a couple different things. Please tell me a couple different stories that immediately come to your head. When did you have to help some big kids in life and help them get through their situations? Give me an example of when you did help those big kids. We call them adults, but really they're big kids.
Oh my gosh. I truly help parents see the beauty in their children all the time, especially when their kids struggle or they struggle with their kids, and I can see them in such a different light in the classroom. And so to help them see the strengths in their kids and to see that struggles aren't always negative. They're not always bad in a classroom. It doesn't make a kid bad in a classroom if we have struggles. It just means that we learn to work together. And I love this, working from our strengths, because I do it all the time in the classroom, but I struggle to do it more in real life with my business.
Okay, so now what you just gave us permission to be able to see is you actually have a gift on the inside of you to be able to help other people tap into the strength of the child within. This child that came from within them. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, kind of. I just didn't see it like that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so this child that came from on the inside of them, now all of a sudden you have permission to be able to speak to those people to see that strength. But what if we were to switch that over, Edna, and say, what if you just began to talk to the child within each person that you were talking to?
Yeah, that means getting to know them more. And it's probably something I've avoided.
And why is that?
Maybe fear of what people think more so. Like, it's so much more controlled in a classroom environment. I'm a teacher, for anyone who didn't know. It's so much more in a classroom and controlled in a classroom environment, right? Like, they come to you. Parents come to you. I come to them. We talk. It's about kids. But in this business, it's such free will, right? You don't have to order. You have to build the relationship. And more often than not, people buy because they have built the relationship with you and they trust you. So now I'm working on establishing trust. So now I have to trust myself to be that person. And really working on that.
Do your kids trust you in the classroom?
It takes a bit. It takes a bit. They learn that it's a comfortable environment. And I spend all of September working that environment, really working the environment so that they feel safe to come. They know that they are safe. They know they can take risks. They know that risks aren't, that they're a good thing. So I have that, I have them with me. They can't leave me unless they run out my door and then I go get them. But people can turn off their subscription.
Look at how many smiles just are on people's faces of recognizing she's saying her own answer and she doesn't even see it. How many people can see it? How many people can see that she's already created all of these answers on the inside of her? Well, it just takes a little bit of time, and then I create this atmosphere of safety. And if I could just talk to these big kids, to the child within, then all of a sudden I'm going to be able to tap into. And just for those of you who don't know, Edna was just awarded this huge award within her city that she's like the favorite teacher of the school. And it was on the news because she has built such incredible trust with people. So she has this proven ability to be able to build trust with people. Like, this is just not even a question. So what would happen, Edna, if you gave yourself permission to take the time that was needed to talk to that child within and gave yourself permission to be able to just love those big kids the way you do the ones in your classroom?
It would prosper my business, but it would also feel really good as a leader, as a person, as a connector, as a person who loves people.
Okay, just a second. Wait. I'm sorry. Did I just hear you say, well, it would prosper my business and it would feel really good?
Yeah, you did.
Huh. Yeah. Okay, you want to say that out loud again?
It would prosper my business and it would feel really good as a leader. Yes, it would.
Okay, so can you say that again? That I actually prosper in my business and I feel really good doing it?
Yeah, and I have fun doing it too.
Hello. Let's see. I prosper in my business. It feels really good doing it, and I have a whole lot of fun. Okay, so can we go back to that conversation that fear was telling you that you didn't have what it takes, and go ahead and have a new conversation?
Yeah, what was that conversation again? What was that fear?
Exactly. And how long has that been a fear?
A lifetime. Probably started Maybe because I didn't love myself enough, and I didn't value myself, and I didn't see myself in God the way I do now.
Oh, so you didn't see yourself as that child of God.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you weren't able to see the child within others.
I think so.
How long did that take you for us to just have that conversation right there?
3 minutes.
And it's been impacting you for how long?
A lifetime.
Let's see. Partnership together to have someone else come in and help you remove a lifetime of stuff so that you can get into the inner love of the child within, first and foremost with yourself, so that you can give that to other people. Am I hearing you right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys put in the chat. Show her some love right here. What gift did she just give to you? And watching how quickly that can just take place. What did you just learn? What did you just glean? Sarah says it's so good. Look at all of those hearts. The joy was so fun to watch. Hello. Do you see that you wanted fun and you just gave fun to other people? You had it within you all along. It's so beautiful. The answer is within. You are so good at leading yourself. Thank you very much, which qualifies you to be able to get into other people as well.
Can I say something to that?
Yes.
So Edna, I want to turn this around because I want us to look at the strengths you wrote in the paper and see how we can operate our business without exhaustion. So if you were able to look at the people on your team and you will be able to communicate to them like you do your students, maybe like not quite the same verbiage, but communicate heart to heart with them, would your business be exhausting? Would it be scary? Would you have the same trepidation that I imagine you felt in the past in talking to adults and in talking and approaching people? If you could look at them authentically like you do your kids and talk to them, would that make your business less stressful?
Like, you can't even imagine. I'm going to be doing that because there's people I have avoided. Oh, shame on me. I know. I have avoided. And I have discovered that with kids, when you think that you're going to have a hard conversation, usually it turns for the better, and kids really appreciate the help, the love. They just want to be seen. They just want to be heard. They just want to be loved. And if they find something tough, they just want to know that you understand.
Amen.
And I think adults are the same. So no more avoiding these hard conversations, which really aren't that hard, actually. Ugh.
It's not just not avoiding though, Edna. It's using the strength of you, which is a good communicator. It's walking in your strength intentionally in your business and using that as a way to grow your business because you were given that strength for a purpose and your business is part of your purpose. So now put that strength to use.
Okay, so Edna, I'm going to push you a little bit because you and I have a relationship, okay?
Sure.
Can I go one step further?
Do it.
All right, so what would happen if you gave yourself permission to never say the word adult again and just said big kids?
Yes. I really do need to see them as big kids.
What would happen if you did that?
It would be enjoyable to reach out to them. They really are. It really would be enjoyable. Because most kids, when you reach out to them and you greet them and you talk to them, they really love it. Right? Like, whereas I'm approaching it from a negative. Oh, they're not going to want this. Oh, they're not going to want that. Oh, so many things. And I'm already worried before I even talk to them. But when I talk to kids, I don't worry about it. They're stuck in my classroom. I don't need to worry about it.
So your place of pain is actually your place of rain. We're tapping you back into your heart, your purpose, and your purpose and your anointing is to be able to minister powerfully and to transform children. Whether that be a child in age or whether that just be a big kid, you still are called to transform that one that you are in front of. Every single one of us can be defined as a child of God. So in reality, this is not a game that we are playing here. This is truth. And as soon as you can give yourself permission, as soon as we all can give ourselves permission to say, hey, Edna's incredible strength is with the children of God. Now all of a sudden we've just wiped an age factor out of the way and there's no more limitation. Can you see that? We pulled you right back into your purpose. And now conversation in your head is dead. Pretty amazing, huh? So because of looking at the clock and seeing where the time is at, and I can hear what some of you are saying, like, okay, then where do we go from here? And I began to talk about in all of the different people that we coach and watching the different businesses that we're watching grow around us is recognizing that you are your business and your business is you. Can you all write that down? You are your business and your business is you. If our business is having a hiccup, then usually guess where the hiccup is coming from? If we are having a hiccup, then usually what does our business begin to experience?
Hiccups.
This is your business, not somebody else's. This is yours. And so that empowerment of what we have the privilege of being able to do. So tell them the story about when we were in Arizona.
So one of the things that I have really noticed is that as our businesses grow, leaders start to realize that we are sometimes feeling at max capacity. People are coming to us because what we have to offer is incredible. And people are wanting our help and wanting our coaching because they see the fruit and success of what we've done. And so Tina and I were in Arizona doing a mastermind together, and I sat down one night and I said, you know, honestly, Tina, I feel so blessed with people that God is building a tribe that is so powerful and is growing so exponentially. How do I keep up? How can I be able to continue to grow? Because my heart is to grow a successful business. But how can I coach all these people individually? It's too many. My days are too short. And so I looked at her and I said, oh my gosh, I have this idea. And she already had the idea because we work like that. I said, what if we could literally take the coaching of people and start coaching them together to not just be another coaching, but to genuinely help people break off any limitation. Because I have limitations and I still have a coach. I have a couple coaches. And because I know that I do not want to be stopped for 1 week with a limitation. But then I'm also having a lot of other people that I'm coaching because we all hit limitations. But what happened in the past was weeks and months went by where I would be frozen. So I said, what if we could literally combine and we could start helping people on a weekly basis? A, grow a powerful entrepreneur business. B, start breaking down any limitation that comes because we can do that on a week-by-week basis. And C, start giving people practical business tips that are going to explode your business. And at the same time, have it so that your teams can be in full momentum. You can focus on growing where your strengths are. You can focus on helping to reach the next level, on growing a huge business. Because we can come alongside you and we can do the coaching that takes up a lot of times, especially as your business grows. Maybe it's you that needs the coaching. But then Tina said, what would it be like if we could have leaders who could then have their teams all doing the coaching, all growing together? What type of momentum would that be? Because you had clear vision and nobody was being stopped with limitations, because weekly we were working as one to start breaking them off, but not just break them off, but find the answers, because those limitations are not just affecting your business, they're affecting your entire family and your life, because you're your business is you.
One of the things that we find within business is so oftentimes when people begin to grow their business, one of the things that is a surprise to them is how weighty it is to carry other people along with you. Anybody? Can we just be really honest and just go, yep, that's it right there. If it was just me, then that would be different. But when I'm having to help develop all of these other people, I didn't know that was going to be a part of my yes. I didn't know that I was going to have people who were going to come in and join my team, and people got issues. Let's be real. People got issues and they need tissues. I mean, there is just some times where we need to be able to step into that. Then people will come to me all the time and say, I don't have the qualifications to help these people with their issues that need tissues. I mean, this is just continuing to compound, and their issues are revealing to me my issues. Anybody get this? I mean, this whole conversation begins to happen. So this is where Jess and I said, okay, this is just a no-brainer. What if I was able to bring along the coaching aspect of who I am in with the business aspect of who you are? What if I was able to bring all of the business people that I coach in together with all of the business people that you're connected with? What if we began to bring all of these strengths of the two of us together? And because people seem to be short on time, they seem to be short on resources, they seem to be short on all of these expertise. What if we began to bring in all of you and said, hey, you come, you bring your teams, we'll create the absolute plan, the runway that everybody is going to begin to fly on together, and we can begin to establish where all of us are going to be growing together. Coaching is a part of this whole situation, and then you have quote experts that you can tap into in order to get the help. Like, I don't know, ask Jess. I don't know, ask Tina. We can begin to partner and use this synergy of all of the different strengths of who we are. So we decided to do it, and we did it. How many people were in our beta program? I want you guys to raise your hands and see how many people who are on tonight because of this, okay? So here we decided to go for nearly 5 weeks. Jess put it out there to her team. Like, we're gonna do this beta test. We're gonna see. We love people so deeply. Let's see if this actually partners in and together. And some of the most hilarious, most powerful testimonies began to happen. Alicia, all of a sudden what you were wanting within your business for years now all of a sudden just happened in less than 5 weeks. Karen, this is a testimony that makes me laugh. She's like, man, my business began to be so successful I wasn't even recognizing what's happening, and I just got an email from corporate saying, hey, I want an iPad. I didn't even know I won it. I mean, the magnitude of the growth and multiplication because of the accountability of what it was that we were having proved to be something that we knew, okay, this is a God answer that is being handed here. And all of those women, what we thought was just going to be a month of fun that we were going to be able to do together, then everyone said, this cannot stop. This cannot stop the growth. I want to be able to bring my whole team into this. I want to be able to invite other people into this journey as well. So friends, this is now going to be the launch of Business Bootcamp because of how all of these other women were so incredibly successful with it.
Oh, it's so exciting to me because I know that if I would have had a place where my team could literally be coached while I was focused on growing and I could have that same coaching, it would be transformational. But another thing that I really noticed is that if you are in a group, so the group of my team that did this, I know one lady said, I had the highest point growth I've ever had since joining Plexus 5 years ago. Wow. And so we're going to be across the board. It's not going to be just one company. We're going to be doing business coaching. But what I saw is that for me, myself, because I'm in other coaching, when you see other people being successful and you know that you can, there's just something about being in a community that is going places you can't be left behind. So imagine if your business was all plugged into a group of people that were always going ahead, and every single week they were being empowered. They were losing shackles that were holding them back. Their mindset was getting cleaned up. They were developing as leaders. Can you imagine if weekly your team had that, where you were going to be in a year, where your business will be in a year? Because there's no slowing down if you are in a community that is running. There's no slowing down if you open up the social media page or wherever it is and you see people having victories like that, you will find the answers. When you literally have practical applications of what you can do for that week for business, and you have a clear plan and you know the next step, and you just have to focus on the next step, and everybody is taking the next step together, the earth starts to reverberate because an army is being built up of men and women who are going to be successful and who are not going to allow limitations to stop them. And we have the queen of limitation breakers. She sees things.
And I love doing that. I work with so many different leaders in different businesses, and people will say to me, I don't have time for that. And I'm like, ooh, that makes me like really happy. Go ahead and send me your hardest cases, and I want to be able to get in there and teach people how to detox their souls. let's go ahead and move these limitations out of the way, because the Word of God says in 3 John 1:2, beloved, I pray that you would prosper and you would be in health, even as your soul prospers. So it is our own soul, our own minds, our own thinking, our own emotions, our own memories that limit both the health and the prosperity of who we are. But if we can learn how to partner those in and together and learn how to use them, all of a sudden it's equipped. So for those of you who do have your own business, what would this mean to you? For you to be able to know, I'm going to come every single week. Jess and Tina are going to be able to have something prepared. I can invite my whole team to come to this teaching of what we know has been successful within the businesses that we have. And then on our team meeting that we have later this week, I don't have to plan for that. It's already been done. And now we as a team get to have that momentum and begin to move in together with that. And we're all speaking the same language. We're all moving together as one, and we're all watching this momentum happen. Would that be of value to who you guys are? How much time would that save you? Put it in the chat. Would you find that valuable?
Think of your leaders and think of your teams. If they had training and they were starting to run because they actually had answers, what would that look like for you as a leader to see your team behind you running as fast as you are, and it was no longer you dragging, because these people, instead of dead, dry bones, were full of skin and life, and they were running you and they were passing you up? What would that mean to you as a leader? That's a question I said to her. I'm like, Tina, if this was actually a reality, I can see explosion like we would never see before, because it was no longer dragging. There's no weight behind you. It's literally one moving together.
Look at this. Look at everybody's answers. Amazing. The best ever. Extremely valuable. This would actually bring that partnership together.
Like chess codes to a video game.
Aww, I love that.
Cheat codes.
Oh, that's awesome. Love that. Okay, so here's where we then began to go into this conversation of finances. Can we go there? Okay, so everybody take a deep breath, because I'm going to talk about money right now, and I'm going to talk about money because I don't have any money issues. I love money and money loves me. Everybody say that? I love money and money loves me. If you create a powerful relationship together with money, which is going to be a whole series that we're going to be able to go through. Some of you literally are repelling finances coming into your home because you don't like to talk about money. And if you don't like to talk about money, then you can't attract money. Like, this is just huge right there. This is worth all the hours that you spent in being here tonight. If you don't want to talk about money, then money doesn't want to have a conversation with you either. Hello? Like, this is so real. This is absolutely so real. So what we began to talk about is, okay, I'm done. I'm absolutely done having people say to me, I can't have a breakthrough in my life because I can't afford it. Now, those of you who do know me, I never allow money to tell me what I can and I cannot do. I'm sorry, I don't serve money. You guys, you don't serve money either. It doesn't have a right to be your boss, unless you let it. But in this conversation that we began to have, we began to say, okay, if we can pull everybody together, if we can actually give people the opportunity, should we tell them what we're going to do?
Yes.
Okay, so Christian, can you put up the slide? You guys, we're going to launch this business bootcamp and give people an opportunity to be able to step in at pricing that is not going to be after launch. We're going to give everyone the opportunity to sign up, and you can join and be a part of Business Bootcamp at this launch rate of only $97 a month. That's it. To do coaching with Jess and I every single Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. They'll be recorded. You can go back and watch them. Time is not a limitation. $97 a month. Or if you want to be able to just pay for a whole year at a time, an additional savings, you can do the whole year for $9.97.
So four coaching calls a month.
Yep.
For $97, and that's not even accounting the bonuses that we have planned for you.
But this is only going to happen while we're doing this launch. Okay, hear me. This is only going to be available during the launch, and it will only remain available to you as you stay on that auto pay as you're going along. As soon as someone asks the question, well, what if I sign up and then I decide to back out? Can I come back then later at that lower price? Nope. You would come back in at then the higher price of what it's going to go to. Does this make sense, everyone? We wanted to extend it to you guys first based on you guys were all invited based on everyone else who has already been a part and seen the results that they've seen.
And the nice thing is that I want to say too, that if you come in at 97, you will always have that price even when it goes up. So whoever joins now gets to have this price forevermore at $97. So $97, 4 weeks of coaching, and that will be your price, and whoever else wants to be a part of this group that's going ahead. So that's what I wanted to tell people. You won't have to worry about it going up because you have this.
Amazing.
You signed up monthly. Can I change that to a year?
Yes, Tim, you can.
Yes.
Yeah, just reach out to us via email and we can get that switched over for you, no problem. Or if you just sign up tonight for the yearly, it might be even easier for us to just refund you the other one. We'll make sure we do that for you, whatever one. No problem at all. Can you guys see how amazing this would be if you just brought your whole team in and did all of this together? I'm super excited.
I am too, because we literally went and took businesses and we pulled a bunch of people. You probably didn't even know what it was for. And we have over 52 topics of business that are the most relevant to people that are what they're facing, what it is that you deal with. And we want to help you and your teams literally fly by addressing these, but also have incredible basic business training. It's not going to be just limitations. It's going to be business training where your teams have boots on the ground, things that are going to grow the business. Because our ultimate goal is to grow successful businesses. So you're going to have business training as well as an application weekly for you and your teams to do that will move the needle on your business.
I'm so excited.
I am too.
You guys, this is going to be an opportunity for us to step in. And like Jess said, 52 different topics. 52 different topics. You know, that whiteboard that I just said was all stuck in her head. All of these different things that she can see as a leader within the organization that she's a part of, Plexus, that everybody needs. And then I added to that and said, well, I can go ahead and tell you everything that comes up all the time for people within their souls. So we're going to take the business mastery. We're going to go ahead and take the mastery of your soul. And we're going to put these together as we begin to work together every single week. We are going to start.
Go ahead.
On July 31st. July 31st is going to be our first kickoff that we are going to join all of you together. So if you want to be a part of this, we want you guys to get signed up today. We want you to be able to invite your teams to be able to be a part of this. And we want to be able to do this together.
And what we're going to do so that we can pull in tight with each other, so that we can literally connect with each other and grow stronger together, is once you join and once we open this up, tonight was just the launch, we have a social media page where we're going to be putting the recordings for a month so you can go back there and watch them, where we're going to be connecting, where we have such exciting stuff to give you and empower you, because we want to pull together so this community can share tips, can share tricks, can help each other troubleshoot, can share breakthroughs, and that's going to be all in one page where we can just literally have a ball together, but also really, really grow together.
And I love it. People are beginning to ask the questions. We wanted to open it up for questions. So is this going to be for 1 year? Yes, and Eva. This is going to just continue to go on. So here's my answer to that. Are you planning on only doing business for a year? No. All of us are planning on continuing to go. So we're going to continue to do this evergreen style. We're going to continue to coach you. We're going to continue to grow you. We're going to continue to partner together with you. So you can pay for it a year at a time. You can pay for it at a month at a time. Susan Carlson, will it be for an hour? Yes. From 45 minutes to an hour. 45 minutes to an hour. Now, for those of you who were a part of Business Bootcamp, we said we were going to do 30 minutes, and many times we went over an hour, because when you begin to watch breakthroughs happen in people, if you're starting to have a breakthrough, I'm not going to stop that breakthrough. we're going to step in, but they will be recorded, and so we do understand the opportunity, and we all have lives. We're married, we have many children between us, and we get it. Multiple businesses running within our home, both of our homes, so we totally get it. Yes, sign up is tonight. You can go ahead and get signed up, Kendra, right there, souldetox.life/Business Bootcamp, and it should be right up there on the slide for you, and in all of the different social media connections or emails that have been coming out to you, all of the links are available as well there as well, and Christian just put it right there in the chat for you.
Tabitha asks, how long is this pricing? So for the next 48 hours?
48 hours, that's it.
It's at $97, and then it's going to go to $127, and you can see the pricing on the graphic. So for the next 48 hours, you and your team can get in for $97. It is men and women, because we have some powerful men I know on my team that are absolutely rocking it. I can see Tim, I can't see the other screen, but I know there's some of them else on here. So it is men or women. It's going to be in the morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. You can figure out the 8 Mountain, 9 Central. So that is a question there. So it's going to be, your teams also can jump in throughout the year. It'll just be at the price. This is, people can join at any time. You're not locked in. But again, if you do choose to quit, which is totally fine, and realize that, oh my gosh, this really was making a difference and want to join, it will be at the price of $127. But as long, if you get in at $97 and you are on that monthly subscription, that it will stay at $97 even when the price goes up.
What's the best way to share it with your team? Okay, you guys ready for another bonus gift that you're going to get? Love that question, Jenny. Okay, so you guys can plan by tomorrow morning within your emails. If you go to the website, if we've got you on our mailing list, if you go to souldetox.life/Business Bootcamp, you get signed up there on the mailing list. We're going to be emailing out this video for you to be able to share this with the rest of your team. Okay, so you can share that. They have the opportunity to be able to watch this, and then everyone can include their teams in it as well. And Kendra, there is no payment plan other than the monthly or the annual.
See Samantha's question. There's no payment plan for annual, no. Any other questions that you have? Christian's answering them as we go. Any other thoughts? This is your time. Anyone else excited like me? Can you see the vision that is coming for us moving as one? I'm just so excited for that.
I am too. Okay, so I want to hear some of your guys' takeaways. Keep putting your questions in the chat, but I also want to hear some of your guys' takeaways tonight. What are you seeing happen on the inside of yourself? Here's why I'm asking that question. For me as a coach, I get so connected in with those that I am coaching that I can feel things on the inside of me. I go cellular. That is just part of my connection with those that I coach. And on the inside of me, my heart is racing. My heart is racing, so I can see and feel that your heart is racing on the inside of some of you. I can feel a magnitude of emotions. I can feel some of you are like, oh my goodness, Edna just had a breakthrough within minutes. Oh my goodness, Cheryl can completely see that she has the authority to be able to set those boundaries if she so chooses. These are speaking things onto the inside of us. Is it really that easy? Could we really move in this together as one? The answer to that is absolutely yes. You see growth. You have the answers within inside of yourself.
The skeleton in the closet, bones shaking. Amen. Wow. We'll shake them till they get skin on them.
Wow. Who did that? Scott
and Bev, yes.
Okay, I love that.
Diane, you say you don't have a team yet. You know the gift that you get to have to grow you into the person that as your team grows, the leader that you're going to be because you are breaking off limitations in you. Because remember, you are your business and your business is you. So can you imagine the gift that you're going to give your team by partnering in and growing you? Mm-hmm. That's how I see that. You don't have a team yet, but your team is coming and will be there as you're ready to take them on.
You know, just like with Jess, that day that forever changed my life, where I'm like, I'm not going to let you fall. If you give me permission to lock on with you, I'm not going to let you fall. We're going to do this together. We're going to hop up that hill. We're going to each do that, one-legged if we need to. We can support each other within this process. You guys, just to know, for many of us, that you don't have to do business by yourself anymore.
Yep.
That's huge. Community is literally what we're crying out for.
Yeah.
Rosanna, I've seen this in my team too. The changes. It's the growing of you. You giving yourself permission to change. Very good. Very good. Is there any other questions that came up, honey?
So.
Can we all thank Christian for running the tech over here? Isn't that amazing? Love it, love it.
So Christian just put up in the chat, if you have more questions as you get off and start thinking about it. I lost it. Do you want to?
Assist at Soul Detox.
It's assist@souldetox.life. Yep. Correct. So think of those people on your team that need what it is that we're going to be offering. Think of those people that you want to run with, because your heart knows those people that have the ability to do business with you. And these are the people you're going to be doing life together. So we want to grow as one. We don't want to leave people behind. Mm-hmm. We all want to hop together to the top of the mountain. Run. That picture is in my mind forever since remembering that story. Mm-hmm. And let's do this together.
Mm-hmm. We are going to be having some bonus content. Samantha, thank you for putting that in there. We've got some surprise bonus content that's going to be coming out before July 31st. That also is going to give us the opportunity to get you guys all in the portal. There's a lot of build-up time of what has to happen on the back of our end, therefore the delay in us getting started at the end of July. And some of you as leaders in some of the organizations that we work with, you guys have specific retreats and leader development and all sorts of things happening within July. So that was the most efficient time for us to get started at the end of July.
But I will tell you, the page is not going to be dead because we already thought about that. So we are going to be dropping and gifting you content before we launch. So you already and your teams, whoever goes in there with you, are going to be getting coaching between now and then in the page. So we've thought about that, and I promise you, we will over deliver. You will never feel cheated. You're going to get more than you bargained for, because that's just who we are.
It is who we are.
That's a very good question.
The teammates need to, if they're going to be a part of this, unless of course you're a spouse, they do need to pay for this coaching themselves.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have had the question asked of me, well, if you have a larger team and you want to scholarship in some of your people, if you would like to do some scholarship for some of your people to help advance them forward, that is an opportunity. Where we are a nonprofit organization, so you could do a scholarship. If that is desired, please reach out to assist@souldetox.life. Christian, if you could put it in there again, and we could assist you with that, Tim, if that's something that you're interested in being a part of, okay?
Scott, the registration, the $97 is for 48 hours, and then automatically the website's going to bump it to $127. Yeah, Tina asked me this question before. What would it mean to you to have teammates that are running and not stalled? And I looked at her, I started laughing. I said, it means everything. For 5 years, I've helped sponsor people, because my passion and heart is to not just be successful in business, but to have healthy people that can help create legacy with me. Mm-hmm. And so if this is something where people would benefit, but they absolutely truly can't, then you can donate as a 501c3, like she said, and help people. I've done that for years as well, so there is that option, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. A lot of people want to pay it forward. They've seen the breakthrough on the inside of themselves, and they want other people to have the same thing. Money never gets to tell us what to do, ever. That's just not the way we roll.
No.
Money has ears. Somebody needs to write that down. Money has ears, and it's waiting for you to have a conversation with it. Some of you think that money only has a mouth. No, actually, go ahead and close its mouth and just give it ears. do a visualization for yourself right here tonight and go ahead and trade that out. Let yourself see the money's got ears and go ahead and stop its mouth. You get to tell it what to do. Isn't that fun to be able to see that? It completely changes your relationship with money in and of itself.
Yeah, and we actually addressed that from a biblical perspective that literally blew my mind and changed Dan and my poverty mindset overnight. And it was so powerful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, took the lid off of us.
I love that. Well, any further questions, family? Kristen Voth, I just saw you roll your eyes, and so that means Jeremy's saying something funny. Jeremy, I saw you. I might not have been able to hear you, but I can see you. That was fantastic. I love that. You guys, I love working with couples. It's so fun. You guys bring your spouse in. When we can work together with our spouse, it makes it that much more fun. If you don't have a spouse yet, man, we know how to pray for that. We should do online dating. Maybe. Okay, next.
And our kids did that. It worked quite well. Kristen's over here.
Success rate.
We have 100% success rate.
Yeah, that's so funny. I love it. Okay.
All right.
We
I
good?
think we're good.
We excited?
Woo! Video to watch at the end.
All right.
Oh, Christian. Go ahead, Tina.
No, go ahead.
There is going to be a fun video. How long is it, Christian? 4 minutes that you want to see before you log off. And Christian is going to hit start now.
It's some of you. Hold
It's some of you.
on.
And I'm here to talk about Dr. Jess and Dr. Tina's intensive bootcamp training that I took, and I can't speak more highly of it. I love how it was tailored specifically for our business, something that I'm super grateful for. I know that I felt very stuck in my business for a while and have been praying and praying for business builders and for increase in my business, and I didn't realize that it was just some work that I needed to do on the inside of me. And through this program, I found those areas that just needed some cleaning up, and it's already been 5 short weeks and my business is already moving so well. And now the team that I prayed for over a year, I have a team that wants to build with me, and there is no better feeling than people that want to work and do the business with you. So I'm forever grateful for this program, and I would sincerely encourage you to jump on it.
These past few weeks of Business Bootcamp with Dr. Tina and Dr. Jess have been like a wake-up call. Not like someone pouring a bucket of water on you to wake you up, but like someone stroking your hair and saying, "Hey, I made you eggs and bacon and brewed coffee to start your day." You can hear the love in Dr. Tina and Dr. Jess when they speak to you, and you just feel that you matter and that who you are is important. How can that not energize you to do the same for others? We can ask for all the practical tools we need, but if there's junk, clutter, and voices in our head from our past that are holding us back, we won't be able to use those practical tools effectively at all. From this bootcamp, I gained not just confidence, but belief that I am a leader. I've learned strategies to shake off the slump and frustration and negative thoughts. I have new habits that will put me in a mindset of I am not just able, but I have great influence and I am unstoppable.
I'm Luann Garman, a homeschooling mama of 7 from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and Business Bootcamp has changed my life in every way. Everything that I have dominion on, it has changed. I love how they focus on the heart, because they say your business is just an extension of who you are on the inside. And so Dr. Tina and Dr. Jessica really focused on making us intensely aware of what is going on in our hearts and equipping us to take those things captive under the obedience of Christ. It has really transformed every area, like I mentioned before. But in the month of March, I have grown more in points in my business than I have in the whole 4 years of doing Plexus. Not to mention all the other side benefits. I couldn't recommend it enough. Go join the next boot camp. It's an incredible opportunity.
All right, I recognize some of you. I can't see everybody, but I can see Alicia that was on there. Okay, team, so if this is resonating with you, let's do this together. You ready? Alrighty, well, you have an amazing evening.
You guys, we loved being with you. Thank you for making tonight a priority. And we will make sure that we release this video out to you by tomorrow morning so that you can share it with your team. Let us know if you have any questions and know that we're here to serve you.